This is TWiT.
This is a wild set of stories called the Uber Files that came out on July 11th, so Monday as we are recording the show, back on Monday. And this is a series of, well, it's a write-up about a series of files, 124,000 documents that were leaked to The Guardian regarding how Uber did quite a few things that are not exactly legal in many ways.
Are we surprised?
Are we? No, not at all. Not at all. So again, more than 124,000 documents, and these files reveal that there were attempts by Uber to lobby Joe Biden, Olaf Scholz, and George Osborne. Emmanuel Macron, who was at the time not yet the president of France, but is now the president of France, allegedly aided Uber in lobbying in France. And that was according to texts that they saw, because along with it just being documentation, like emails and stuff like that, it was also WhatsApp messages and iMessages. So all of that together was shown. And then also there was information about what Uber called a kill switch, which was a way for Uber to erase data on its servers in order to circumvent raids by police if police were seeking to view data at the company.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good.
Yeah,
right
no, a kill switch.
Not a good.
Look, I'm all about data privacy protection in terms of if a police officer or a body of law comes and they want like information on one particular individual, or that kind of thing is a whole different ball game versus if the company itself is accused of doing something and they are then erasing all of the data to make sure that it can't be proven that they're doing something. That's a different kind of thing.
Yeah, that is.
You may remember a long, long time ago, and we're showing the photo on the stream if you're watching, that French taxi drivers were very upset about Uber coming to France, and they actually protested. And the protests got a little violent. There was a lot going on, and was one situation where let me find it now. Now I've lost it. Here we go. So at the time, Kalanick, I think Travis Kalanick, who was the CEO and the founder of Uber. They said, different executives said, hey, look, it's really not a good idea to encourage Uber drivers to go to France, or if they are in France already, to protest as part of this, because it puts them at risk. Things could get violent, and it's not a good idea because the taxi industry is very angry right now. So maybe don't do this. And Kalanick responded, quote, "I think it's worth it." And then here's the other quote: "Violence guarantees success," is what Kalanick said. So this is interesting too. Kalanick's spokesperson responded and said, Kalanick never suggested that Uber should take advantage of violence at the expense of driver safety, and any suggestion he was involved in such activity would be completely false. So somehow trying to say that the evidence to the contrary is not real is what the spokesperson is saying. It goes on. I mean, this is a huge trove of data and a huge article kind of detailing what they discovered. And in fact, The Guardian worked with several other groups as part of the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists. And so the ICIJ was at the root of this. That's how they shared data with other media outlets, 40 other media outlets, and 180 journalists at Le Monde, Washington Post, the BBC, and more. And those outlets are also going to be publishing pieces related to the Uber files after they've, climbed through all of this data and figured different things out. At one point, Kalanick was set to meet with President Biden, who at the time was Vice President Joe Biden. And I guess he was waiting for Biden, who was late due to other things. And Travis Kalanick texted, I'm at the Intercontinental waiting for Biden, ... who is late. I've had my people let him know that every minute late he is one less minute he will have with me. So the guy definitely, valued his time. We'll just say that, but was working to try and get Biden on board. And one other quote from this, according to The Guardian, after meeting Kalanick, Biden appears to have amended his prepared speech at Davos to refer to a CEO whose company would give millions of workers, quote, freedom to work as many hours as they wish, manage their own lives as they wish. So an interesting situation there where it seems like whatever conversation did happen resulted in mention of Uber in passing at this speech that Biden was giving. One or a couple of other things. Uber executives appeared to be very aware of the fact that a lot of what they were doing was not legal, was not sort of following the law. You may remember that when Uber was first kind of getting started and started to take off, they were trying to get into other countries as quickly as they possibly could. And in getting into other countries, it often resulted in kind of, what is that called? It's seek forgiveness later, act and then seek forgiveness later.
Yeah,
that whole idea.
Ask for forgiveness, not permission.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And
I got that one right today, at least.
Yeah, ding, 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 ding. So that appears to be the situation. And the executives who, perhaps in years past have sort of pretended like, oh, we didn't know that this seem to be on board because many of them, one executive joked that the group had become pirates. And another one said used an expletive to say, we're just bleeping illegal, just straight up said, we are just illegal. And so there were lots of jokes amongst the executives about how they weren't really following the laws, regulations, et cetera, and that, they continue to move fast regardless of that. One of the most, I think, interesting aspects of this is that the person who appears to be the leaker of this person has come forward and said, I am the leaker. It's just not clear to me if that has been confirmed, but The Guardian, didn't make any hedging on it when they said so. Uber's former chief lobbyist in Europe. So this is Mark McGann, who was the lobbyist for Europe, for the Middle East and for Africa. And McGann came forward and said, I'm the one who leaked the data, and said, quote, it is my duty to speak up and help governments and parliamentarians right some fundamental wrongs. Morally, I had no choice in the matter. So 2013 to 2017, 83,000 emails, some iMessages and WhatsApp messages, and lots of, as they say, unvarnished conversations. Uber, for its part, in response to the Uber files, said, quote, we have not and will not make excuses for past behavior that is clearly not in line with our present values. Instead, we ask the public to judge us by what we've done over the last 5 years and what we will do in the years to come. So, I mean, I can kind of guess your thoughts on this, but I would like to hear just your reaction at the very least.
I mean, I'm not surprised at all. I think that statement right there, kind of says it all, where they realize, who is it, Rush Hashari? Why am I blanking on the current CEO's name?
Crud, yeah.
But
you keep going, I'll find it.
Yeah, I mean the current it's yeah, I'm blanking, but the current leadership at Uber is, I mean, at least from the outside looking in, very different, clearly different. Travis Kalanick was poison, in my opinion. He was just incredibly, he was just horrible in a lot of ways, misogynistic, implemented a lot of things that were just incredibly inappropriate, drove the staff to insane levels of overwork, you know, at times pitting them against each other and not really caring about it as long as the final product was Uber wins. You know what I mean? It was just from, you know, toxic culture all around. So I'm not surprised at any of this. I don't know how much you hold a company like this accountable for things that happened under that kind of leadership that was 5+ years ago. I mean, I speak like, what I mean by that is like, I actually don't know the law. Like, how accountable is the Uber of today when, you know, some of these decisions were tied to Travis Kalanick, who isn't there anymore? Does that fall on Kalanick? Does that fall on Uber? If, you know, if there are any charges that follow as a result of some of this reporting, I'm not sure. But yeah, it was in my opinion, it was a great day when Kalanick was no longer CEO at Uber. I still, at the time, I remember just being like, I'm not riding an Uber, you know, I'm going to take a Lyft, even though Lyft was harder to ride. You know, it was not nearly as ubiquitous in any of the places that I was doing rideshare, but I kind of refused. And I've used Uber since. Now, you know, since that he's been gone, and I've have a little bit more of an improved taste in my mouth as far as the company is concerned and the culture improvements and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, as far as these reports are concerned, I'm totally not surprised at all. This sounds pretty much in line with exactly what I would expect.
I agree wholeheartedly. None of this is shocking to me. The only thing that's shocking is the detail, and that's why it's well worth. Sure. We'll include a link, of course. It's well worth heading to the Guardian's piece. It's kind of hard to find if you just type in Uber Files, The Guardian, because they've got like a page that has all of the breakout articles. So I've got the direct link to the original reporting that then has links out to other things, and that way you can see what it's all about. Just because it's kind of wild what is available in there, and I do wonder how this moves forward in terms of what the company what can be done for something that's already been done.
Totally